My name is Arthinox, and this is Cloaked Mysteries. If you think you've already seen giant snakes, I need to warn you right now, everything you know will seem small compared to what we're about to reveal today. Forget modern serpents. Forget current records. Not so long ago on the geological timescale, Earth was ruled by scaly monsters capable of hunting crocodiles, crushing car-sized mammals, and swallowing the ancestors of elephants as if they were easy prey. For years, one name reigned supreme in this pantheon of horrors. But in 2024, a discovery changed everything. Today, we're getting straight to the point. The largest snakes that have ever existed. If you've got the courage, hit the like button now. And if you're new here, subscribe. The hunt begins. Gigantophus. About 40 million years ago, northern Africa had no desert, no dunes, and no pyramids. Eocene Egypt was a green, suffocating, deadly hellscape. Where sand exists today, there were once swamps, mangroves, and life-filled estuaries. The Fayum region looked far more like the Amazon rainforest than anything we recognize today. The waters were murky, shallow, and treacherous. Vegetation formed natural corridors perfect for ambushes. Predators didn't rely on speed, they relied on patience. It was an ecosystem where survival favored those who struck first and crushed hardest. It was in this environment that a serpent ruled, one that held the title of the largest snake in the world for nearly a century. An animal so extreme it redefined the known biological limits of its time. Its name was Gigantophus garstini. For decades, all we had were fragments, massive vertebrae, and fossilized jaw pieces. But modern science allowed researchers to reconstruct the monster. Even the most conservative estimates place it at around 33 feet long, 10 meters, with a body far heavier than any modern anaconda. Visually, imagine a regulation soccer goalpost. Now imagine 1.5 of them laid end to end, made entirely of muscle, bone, and predatory instinct. It wasn't just long. It was thick, dense, and absurdly powerful. And hey race, what makes it even more fascinating, it didn't belong to any modern snake family. Its lineage was ancient, primitive, and brutal. Gigantophus was part of the Madsoidae, an extinct group of snakes that dominated the ancient supercontinent of Gondwana. These snakes lacked the extreme flexibility seen in modern serpents. Their skulls were more rigid, less mobile, less elastic. That changed everything about how they hunted. Modern snakes can open their jaws at impossible angles and swallow prey whole. Gigantophus couldn't do that easily. To consume large animals, it first had to compress its prey into a dense, cylindrical mass. Which meant one thing: extreme constriction. It wrapped around its victim, locked its muscular coils, and squeezed until bones gave way. This wasn't simple suffocation. It was total bodily collapse. The heart stopped within seconds. So what did it hunt? Eocene Egypt was home to Moratherium, a primitive ancestor of elephants. It lacked a long trunk or massive tusks, but it weighed around 440 pounds, 200 kilograms. Large, strong, and completely helpless against a 33-foot snake hidden beneath the mud. The scene was simple and terrifying. A mammal grazing at the water's edge. Still water. Absolute silence. Then the strike. No warning. No escape. Gigantophus was the apex predator of that lost world. Paleophis. Now things get even stranger. Because next on our list is a snake that ignored all the rules and conquered the most hostile environment on Earth, the open ocean. Meet Paleophis coloceus. This creature lived during the Eocene, swimming through an ancient, warm, shallow sea that connected the Atlantic to the Mediterranean. A volatile ocean filled with massive predators. The vertebrae discovered are colossal. Some estimates suggest a length between 33 and 40 feet, 1,012 meters. This wasn't a coastal snake. It was truly pelagic, an open ocean serpent. Its anatomy was completely adapted for life in water. Instead of being cylindrical like a boa, its body was laterally compressed, like a living ribbon, that turned its entire body into a massive swimming fin. But that raises a critical question: how did such a large reptile maintain its body temperature in the ocean? The most likely answer is gigantothermy. Its enormous volume allowed it to retain heat far more efficiently, making it an active, fast, and deadly predator. It shared the seas with ancient sharks and the earliest primitive whales. Encounters weren't just possible, they were inevitable. Now we go even further back into the late Cretaceous, about 70 million years ago. The world still belonged to the dinosaurs. And for a snake to survive in that environment, it had to be more than large. It had to be brutal. That snake was Matsoyabai. Its fossils have been found across South America, Africa, and Madagascar. It reached lengths of 26 to 30 feet 89 meters, but its true advantage was robustness. Thick vertebrae, incredibly powerful muscles, a crawling biological tank, and we have chilling behavioral evidence. In 2010, paleontologists discovered a fossil of a close relative inside a sauropod dinosaur nest, coiled around a broken egg. The attack was frozen in time, interrupted by a sudden mudflow. If a smaller relative behaved this way, the giant Matsoya was likely the terror of Cretaceous nurseries. Titanosaur hatchlings. Juvenile carnivorous dinosaurs. Nothing was safe. It proved that snakes didn't need to wait for dinosaurs to go extinct to become giants. They were already there hunting in the shadows. Titanoboa. Now we reach the undisputed legend. To understand Titanoboa, you need to understand the world immediately after the dinosaurs vanished. Earth entered a period of extreme global warming. In what is now Colombia existed the hottest, wettest tropical rainforest ever recorded. Average annual temperatures exceeded 90 F32C, a paradise for cold-blooded animals. It was here, in 2009, that scientists uncovered the greatest nightmare in snake history. Titanoboa measured between 42 and 47 feet 12, 9'14", 3 meters, weighed over 1 ton, and had the thickness of a tractor tire. It was far too massive to live comfortably on land. It was predominantly aquatica colossal, almost immortal anaconda lurking in dark waters. And what does a 1-ton snake eat? Giant crocodiles, car-sized turtles, massive fish. Its constriction pressure was obscene. Bones didn't simply break, they were pulverized. No venom, just raw, overwhelming force. For more than a decade, Titanoboa seemed untouchable, an absolute biological limit. Many scientists believed nothing larger could ever exist. Anything bigger simply wouldn't make physical sense. Until April 2024. In India, researchers studying sediments from a lignite mine in Gujarat uncovered something extraordinary. 27 massive fossilized vertebrae, incredibly well preserved, all belonging to a single snake from the Middle Eocene about 47 million years old. These vertebrae were unlike anything previously documented. Wider, thicker, denser. They didn't resemble Titanoboa. They didn't resemble boas or anacondas. They pointed to something older, more primitive, and potentially larger. The name chosen carried immense mythological weight. Vasuki indicus, named after the serpent king of Hindu mythology who coils around the neck of the god Shiva. The geological context makes it even more terrifying. At the time, India was an isolated island continent drifting alone through the Indian Ocean. That isolation, combined with extreme tropical heat, created the perfect evolutionary laboratory. Using mathematical models based on vertebral width, scientists estimated a minimum length of 36 feet 11 meters with a maximum estimate reaching nearly 50 feet 15 meters. If the upper estimate is correct, Vasuki doesn't just rival Titanoboa, surpasses it. The impossible had happened. The throne was officially threatened. Now we reach the question that divides scientists and fuels endless debate. Who was truly the largest snake to ever exist? In terms of length, the advantage likely goes to Vasuki. Matsoid snakes tended to be longer and less proportionally bulky. At its maximum estimate, Vasuki exceeds Titanoboa by over 3 feet. But size isn't just length. It's mass, volume, raw power. Here, Titanoboa likely retains the edge. As a boid, it had a thicker, heavier body optimized for aquatic life. Estimates place its weight above 2,400 pounds, 1,100 kg, true biological tank. Their hunting styles were also different. Titanoboa was an active aquatic predator, specialized in giant crocodilians and massive fish. Vasuki, by contrast, appears to have been a pure ambush hunter, capable of waiting days or weeks without moving. Its spine suggests straight-line attacks like a living battering ram. Explosive. Final. So who wins? In raw mass and crushing force, Titanoboa likely keeps the belt. In sheer length and spatial dominance, Vasuki takes the crown. There is no definitive answer. And that uncertainty may be the most fascinating part. There is one factor that connects all these monstrous snakes' climate. None of them appeared by accident. All depended on an extremely hot planet. Average temperatures above 86 F30C weren't anomalies, they were normal. Snakes are cold-blooded. That means the environment acts as metabolic fuel. The hotter the planet, the higher the size limit these animals can reach. These monsters were, quite literally, biological engines powered by external heat. When the planet cooled near the end of the Eocene, everything changed. Tropical forests retreated. Polar ice formed. Global temperatures dropped. The fuel ran out. Giant snakes became slow. Digestion failed. Movement became energetically expensive. Natural selection was ruthless. One by one, these colossal beings vanished, replaced by smaller, more efficient, more adaptable snakes. Modern anacondas, pythons, and boas are descendants of that collapse. They are still magnificent, still dangerous, still deserving of respect. But they are only shadows of the scaly gods that once ruled the earth. Everything you've heard today isn't just prehistoric trivia. It's a raw demonstration of how life responds when the planet changes. These snakes weren't evolutionary mistakes. They were perfectly functional products of a different world. Titanoboa, Vasuki, Gigantophis, Paleophis, Metsoia. They weren't exceptions. They were the Rullian, a planet with the thermostat turned all the way up. When Earth cooled, they weren't defeated by stronger predators. They were defeated by physics. Cold stole their energy, slowed their bodies, and turned gigantism into a lethal disadvantage. Today, we face an uncomfortable truth. Once again, we are changing Earth's climate at unprecedented speed. Temperatures are rising. Ecosystems are shifting. The biological rules that limit animal size are being pressured. Biology doesn't make moral judgments. It simply responds. If the planet stays hot long enough, the return of gigantism stops being science fiction and becomes a biological possibility. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not for thousands of years. But history is clear: when heat dominates, life grows. The real question isn't whether new Titanoboas could exist someday. The question is, are we prepared for a world where monsters become viable again? Earth has already proven many times that it has no problem creating creatures beyond our imagination. The past isn't a warning. It's an instruction manual. Now the final decision is yours. In a hypothetical battle between the greatest scaly monsters to ever live, who do you choose? Team Titanoboa, raw force, living mass, the biological tank. Team Vasuki, impossible length, infinite patience, the endless serpent. Leave your vote in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Because as long as the planet keeps changing, the next age of monsters may simply be waiting for the right temperature.